riding, eh? Eh? Try and get 30, 45 minutes on this. Hey man. Vincent, hi man. You guys are going to help me get through 45 minutes of riding. I'm well, Sandy. How are you? Last time I did one of these lives, I was on the bike and I don't know, time went by real quick. So I thought I'm gonna do the riding anyway. Might as well not be on YouTube or Instagram or whatever and spend the time with you guys. I'm in Adelaide, man. 2-car crash survivor. Oh yeah. Were you telling me this before? Somebody was telling me about a car crash. Yeah, so night shift. This is brutal, man. So I finished my night shift on, when was it? On Tuesday morning, finished my night shift. And on Wednesday I was back on a normal day shift. That's what they do with us, man. They screw us around. Good morning, Ego Lift. Oh, man. I find the first 5 minutes of riding a bike is the worst. Jeez, it's just really not fun. Like that first sweat. But when you're like 10 minutes in, it's like whatever. It's the initial bit. Man. It's like anything really, isn't it? Even when I squat, the first set is the ugliest. Nice. Yeah, man, I'll be the first one to admit that for the last decade, man, I really stopped thinking about cardio, stopped thinking about doing any form of, let's say, low intensity training, running, biking, that kind of thing, playing basketball, soccer. Completely stopped for the most part for the last 10 years. But ever since jumping on the bike the last week or so, I started feeling really nice, man. The joints are feeling really good. I'm eating a lot, sleeping well, I feel lighter on my feet. It's just everything seems to be going really well. And I've watched a lot of guys talk about this in the last week or so. Read a bunch of stuff. You know, this Saturday, I think it is, this Saturday, it's the AFL Grand Final. The footy, for some of you guys that are not from Australia, is that weird ball looking football. And those guys always make me think, because I mean, some of these guys run like 15, 20k in a game, right? Some of these on ball midfielders. And they look jacked, they look strong, you know, they look good, they look filled out. It always kind of made me think, man, these dudes are looking better than me. And I'm supposed to be just focusing on strength and muscle, and I don't do any of this cardio. So maybe cardio is not the problem. Maybe the cardio they are doing is somehow making it better for them. I don't know, man. It's just interesting. So right now I'm getting 40, 43, 44 revs per minute, which is on the heavier side, what I understand it to be. Usually guys are getting much faster pedal work. I'm kind of using this for, you know, leg strength / cardio. I always get a nice quad pump around the knee. The knee gets real warm, both of them. The hips up here starts to feel really nice as well, exactly where I have the discomfort when I squat. I feel like it gets the blood in the legs really well. And yesterday, man, yesterday I did a lot of deadlifting, as some of you guys might have seen. And towards the end of my shift last night, I started getting really locked up in my lower back and hamstrings, traps. Traps are really sore. Jump on the bike and I can put in as much effort as I want in the bike. The bike just completely isolates the lower body, like the legs, the quads. So even with a sore back, you can ride. It's a pretty cool thing. You kind of got me thinking. I think squats and deadlifts, the rate limiting step there is never going to be the legs, ever. It's not going to be the legs. The bar is in your hands or the back. And so most of the time, what's going to fail us is going to be the lower back, the core. I think this is one of the reasons why every time I do squats and deadlifts, I don't really feel my legs. Unless it's like super high reps. Something that the core can tolerate for long periods of time. So if somebody says to me, what's the best leg exercise? I'm like, yeah, okay, no worries. Everyone kind of says squats and deadlifts and whatever. But the rate limiting step there is not going to be the legs. Whereas with the bike, there's nothing else going on here but the damn legs. There's nothing else going on. So I can sit here and really pump the legs with the core completely off. Like I'm not loaded axially. So, you know, after like 30, 45 minutes of this, I'll walk around in the backyard, I feel like my legs are this big. Really swollen, pumped up, adductors, quads, a little bit of hamstrings as well, glutes as well. You know, I was talking to a doc last night, funny guy. He calls me Mr. Quads. Cool guy, really cool guy, you know. He's in his 60s, from the USA. You know, he's worked as a ED specialist everywhere, all around the world. Really cool guy. Like, he's got knowledge not just in medicine, but like general knowledge. Really cool guy. And we started talking yesterday about, you know, training and whatever. And I said to him, man, simple bike gets me more pumped up than any of the damn squats I've ever done. You know, it's just the rate limiting step for the bike is going to be the legs. With squats and deadlifts, and I've done a lot of squats and deadlifts in my time, man. You walk off and you're like, this is sore, like systemically you're sore. You're burnt out when you do deadlifts and squats. With this, it's the quads, legs. So I feel like, that's what he said to me yesterday. He's like, man, you walk a bit funny nowadays. Started off as a joke, but then he was like, yeah man, you're walking a little different. I said, I did the bike before I came here. Before I came to work, my legs are pumped up. I'm walking around with the pump. I feel like I'm fucking chafy, like a maniac, you know, walking around. It's changed the way I walk now. I legit feel like my legs have grown. You know, that's going to be an unpopular opinion in the barbell world. Oh, piss off, Ivan. You reckon biking is going to give you bigger legs than squats? Maybe this is what my body needs. Like, I'm used to the barbell. Those high-end threshold muscles, fibers. What about this slow twitch business? People shit on slow twitch fibers all the time. Oh, give me the fast twitch fibers, man. They're bigger cross-sectionally than slow twitch fibers. But per unit size, they do the same thing. It's just the fast twitch fibers are fatter. So in the same space, let's say, same unit of space, you're going to fit less fast twitch fibers in that unit of space. You're going to need more slow twitch fibers to fill that same unit of space. But really, when you control for the space, it's the same thing. It's just the slow twitch fibers, you need more of them to produce the same force. So there's no reason for us to neglect slow twitch fibers. I mean, how else do you describe what's happening to me? I feel like my legs are bigger, fuller, pumped up, more volume, like I'm holding more blood in my legs. And my legs feel great. Now obviously when you look at these Tour de France athletes, these professional dudes that can like ride for days, they're really, really skinny, but you have to also understand that they're cycling for hundreds of kilometers. But if you load up, 40 RPMs on the bike, and there's a bit of a push associated with it. It's not just flying with the damn things. I think you're targeting some sort of force production, a bit more torque going through the pedal, and there's a bit of a pump. Obviously you can manipulate this exercise however you want, kind of like anything else really. If I have 120 reps per minute on this thing and I'm just flying through it, it's going to be more cardiovascular, right? And the legs are going to be just a utensil to get the cardio going. But right now, actually, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm feeling my adductors here as well. Feeling the adductors and the quads around the knee. So, it's kind of show you. Big Jacob 15, thank you, man. Oh, that's a pleasure. Physical therapist. Good work, dude. Oh, appreciate you, man. Now, the key with this stuff, like this zone 2 cardio training people talk about, is that you should be able to follow conversation while you're doing it. If you're really kind of short of breath and you can't make it through a sentence, you're probably working too hard and it's not zone 2 anymore. You can see that my breathing is somewhat labored, but it's not, like I can make it through a sentence, right? So, why zone 2, you might ask? Why not zone 3? Well, the stuff that I've read, and I'm not a cardio guru, but the stuff that I've read is that most people at the top level, if you want to improve their cardiovascular fitness, they spend a lot of time in zone 2. Of course, they spend some time in zone, whatever, the other zones, but they spend quite a lot of time in zone 2. 120, 130, 140, I guess, heart rate kind of region. And I tested myself at the gym with one of these bikes. They have a thing you can count your pulse with, like a little handle thing that you put your hands on. And yeah, in fact I was 130, 140 kind of region. Sometimes I get up and I just to get off my bum a little bit, mix it up. But like when you stand up and you start riding on the, when you get off the seat, it changes a bit, man. It's a lot more harder. Can't really last that long on standing, but he changes it up a little bit ever so slightly. So I've got 3 positions when I'm riding: like this, upright, leaning, seated, and then standing. And it kind of gives me a bit of a rotation to kind of mess around with. I'm good at drinking a lot of water. There you go, already 15 minutes, unbelievable, huh? You have a couple of companions and yeah, I agree with you, dude. I agree with you, Nick, man. Definitely. More cardio, man. Robert, how you going? Yeah, Nick, in recent times I've been watching a lot of videos from Mitchell Hooper. I don't know if you guys know who he is. You probably should. He's this year's World's Strongest Man. He's Canadian, from Canada, but my understanding is he spent some time in Australia, you know, studying his undergraduate, which is in exercise physiology, I think. So he's a obviously very well accomplished athlete. But the interesting thing with him is, kind of what really grabbed my attention was that he was a marathon runner before he transitioned into the strength world. And I mean, those are completely different, you know, polar opposites. Like he made it from, you know, wearing, you know, running marathons. I don't know if he was, how high up he was in the marathon world. I don't really know much about the marathon world, but the fact that he could finish a marathon and ran marathons tells me he was pretty damn fit. Transitioned into powerlifting, did that. He was really strong, from my understanding. I think he was squatting in the 300s, if I'm not mistaken. And then he went over to strongman, spent a few years there, and now he's won the damn thing. And he always talks about, I watched a lot of his videos. Watched a lot of his videos on the YouTube channel, and he talks about how important cardio is. And to be honest with you, he's one of those people that had a lot of weight with his words when it comes to talking about cardio and how important cardio is. If the world's strongest man recommends doing cardio, and obviously the world's strongest men, it's a strength primarily sport. There are the, you know, pillars of that sport, but strength is the main one. And if cardio is important for them, who the hell am I, man? Some scrawny, weak, unfit dude. Come on, man. I can't have a 140 kilo man be fitter than me. Damn. Now, when he was running his marathons, he was like, I think around 85, 90 kilos. And obviously now he's like 130, much, much bigger frame. And he admits to taking PEDs now, and you know, it's a completely different world. But still, cardio is very, very important. I mean, I've heard these things before, but sometimes you can hear it a million times. If you're not ready to listen and understand, it's not value to you at all. This time around, I was like, interesting. And the way the whole thing bike started, I was squatting, and I was feeling a little bit kind of crap in the hips, and I was doing a bit of like, you know, fire hydrants, all that kind of stuff I was doing a few weeks ago, kind of address the side glutes, and I thought, I was thinking along the lines of something in the lateral. I was walking past, back into the house, next to this thing, which I haven't used for years, just sitting there, and I thought, let me jump on the bike for real quick. Jumped on, did 10 minutes, walked off, and I felt, wow, man, this is making me feel real nice. And that's how it started. It was for hip related. Hip related. And that was my motivation, man. I just want to get through the most amount of squatting I can. Absolutely, you know, pulverize, you know, myself with the squat and walk away not in pain. Because the trouble for me has never been that I'm not doing enough work, is that the work would hurt me. And obviously the moment I start feeling a little bit crap in the hip, my mind starts, you know, do the whole negative feedback loops. Oh, look, this is probably not a good idea if we continue down this road. We're going to do some like anatomical damage, some proper skeletal trouble to the hip. And then obviously subsequently, I spent the following 1 or 2 weeks pussying around the weights. For this, the more I do this, the better I feel. That's my honest experience. Sub-maximal, high rep knee extension. I mean, what else is biking? If we're talking about the muscular aspect of it. What are we talking about? The cardio, can you send enough fuel to the muscle to contract? Can you get rid of the waste in time? I mean, that's what we're talking about. But this was my little introduction to the cardiovascular world. Now, if you don't know, I mean, I'm wearing this stuff every day. I come from the basketball world. Now, basketball in Australia is a lot different to basketball in any other sport in the States. Is that I played from under 12s all the way to under 20s Division 1 basketball. You know, and strength and conditioning wasn't strength and conditioning. It was just conditioning. We did no strength. We never got introduced to the barbell. We never did cleans, back squats, nothing. And the only thing we ever did is run. Run your guts out. So when I made it to the men's team, the reserves team of the main first team of the men's in this club that I played for, Forestville Eagles, if you guys are from Adelaide. I played reserves there. Yeah, off season was to go to the Snakes Pit, which is this sand dune, little circuit, and you run up and down hills, sand. Obviously really hard work. You know, a lot of guys vomit, but it's cardiovascular. We did no strength. And so when I finished with basketball, I was like, you know, enough of this damn running around business. I want to put some mass on. And I just assumed that cardiovascular work, like the stuff I've been doing all my life, is the reason why I was skinny. Really skinny. Like, I stopped playing basketball, I was 75 kilos. At 6 foot. So I thought, you know, screw this shit. Get rid of all the damn stuff, let's start bulking up and eating a lot and moving some weight. Basically, 14 years from that moment, I now realize that cardio was never the problem. You need cardio along with lifting, but lifting is the most important bit. Cardio is not the culprit. So you don't need to get rid of cardio. In fact, cardio will facilitate your growth. I think Mitchell said this, Mitchell Hooper, in one of his videos. He said that if you do a lot of cardio, you increase your intravascular volume, meaning you have more blood around the place. You store more glycogen. You have better capillary networks throughout your muscles, because there's now a need for metabolic stress management. So if you're thinking about the blood cells being cars and roads, the more routes you have through the city, the body, the better it is to manage the traffic. So, I mean, I didn't know this. You increase your blood volume, you increase your capillary networks. There's a whole host of things that happen which would benefit a strength athlete. I mean, that sounds pretty good to me, right? And all you got to do is 30 minutes a day of cardio, right? Or whatever. I mean, you don't have to do as much as me. This for me is not just cardio, it's prehab as well for the hip. But I've always said this, my genes were built for this shit. You know, my fundamental years were spent, my developmental years were spent chasing a ball, playing basketball, playing soccer. If you're from Europe, you probably understand this, but kids in Europe, where I was from, we never sat in the house. Sun comes up, you have breakfast, and you get booted outside. Go play. We'll be out there all day, 4 bricks on the road. We'll play soccer, day and night. All the kids from all the buildings around the place, they would come out and we just play all day. Just play. If you're fortunate enough to have a basketball ring in the hood, you play basketball. And then you come home when the sun comes down, dinner and home. That was kind of the school holidays, how they look like. So I was running cardiovascularly fit from the moment I could walk. So I feel like my body is built for this slow twitch shit. You know. And also, if you think about it, human evolution built us more for cardiovascular, you know, for endurance, feats, physical feats, more so than strength. Most of us. I mean, if you're 7 feet, 400 pounds, you're not going to be very good at cardio, are you? You're more built for strength, brute strength. So, I feel like I'm doing what my biology wants me to do. Man. It's about 17 degrees today, Celsius. So it's nice weather. But I'm still breaking out of sweat. I don't know if you guys can see it. Oh man. So after this, I'll sit down for 5 or 10 minutes and I'll get under the bar. Now I'm very, very sore, which is why I decided to put most of my energy today into biking. My back is fried, man. There was a lot of deadlifts after not deadlifting for quite a while. So I'm not going to be strong. I'll work up something, I don't know what, but not feeling strong today at all. But just like stretching, what I love about this is that you can do this anytime. Soreness or no soreness, this is actually good. And you're not feeling better. It's awesome. And if you're thinking, if you're watching this and you're thinking, nah, screw that, Ivan, I'm going to lose all my mass. Sorry, man. There can't be an excuse. Something else can be an excuse, but this can't. Because your ghrelin is going to go stupid after this. Ghrelin is a hormone in the body. It's a hunger hormone. When that shit's secreted, you want to eat. So after 45 minutes on the bike like this, at 35, 40 RPM, I'm going to be hungry. And so I'm going to go eat like a maniac. As long as you're not in a deficit, you're not going to lose weight. In fact, you're probably going to gain weight. And I've said this in the past. If you're trying to lose weight and you're doing cardio, man, I feel sorry for you because you are battling some demons there. Because cardio is going to make you hungry as hell. And then you're probably going to eat more than you burned. Because it's hard to kind of eat to what the ghrelin is telling you. The only way cardio can work is if you do a lot of cardio like this, and then you go in the house and you just eat damn vegetables. Really, really low carbohydrate, low fat diet. Basically eat a bunch of celery sticks. That's how you're going to be in a deficit, that's how you're going to lose weight. But if you're eating normal food, normal diet, with cardio, man, it's just misery. 1 step forward, 2 steps back it feels. Well, you might be different now, I mean, who knows. But for me, man, like 45 of the bike today, I don't know how many calories I'm going to eat today, but I can bet you $1. It's going to be a lot. Oh. Yeah, Jules, yeah. Find the right amount of cardio. I mean, right now I'm clearly overdosing on things, and you guys know me, I'm an extremist at heart. I like to overdose on things that feel good. Stretching a lot, hiking a lot. What I'm thinking now is, do I spend my barbell work on squats or deadlifts? Because after doing the bike, man, I feel like my knees are gone. So deep knee flexion is really hard for me. Squats are hard for me after this. But deadlifts, you know, deadlifts are pretty okay because it's mostly hip extension, for me at least. I don't squat my deadlifts. So I feel like deadlift and biking is a really good combo. Oh, Brendan. I'm sorry guys, but I can't really operate the screen right now. I'm all shaky and riding, so I can't really play with the screen right now. I'm sorry if I missed. I can see people have given me super chats, and I thank you for that, but I'm not in a position right now to handle the screen, which is probably one of the limitations of doing this type of live, because I'm kind of working hard here, sweating it up, shaky. And you guys can probably see now, my sentences are getting shorter. So I'll probably use all of the glycogen in my legs now, and I'm getting a little bit more into the anaerobic metabolism. It's a bit more of an oxygen debt now. The next 15 minutes are going to be tough, but we'll get through it. And this is kind of like half embarrassing because I don't know, compared to how I was back in the day, this is an embarrassment of how unfit I am. But barbell squats and deadlifts are not going to make you good at cardio. That's a fact. Oh man. Now you don't sweat this much. You don't sweat this much when you're riding a real bike out there, because you get the wind, you know. But with a stationary bike, especially under this veranda, there's no wind, there's nothing, man. You're just copping it sweetly. Copping it sweet. Ooh, man, everything's sore now. Oh, goodness. Now, I'm tempted to play with the resistance little twister thing here, but I won't. I'll gut it out for the next 4 minutes. The thing with cardio is that it's mentally challenging, right? So I've got 12 minutes of discomfort booked in, right? And knowing how mentally stubborn I am, don't care, man. I'll make it at 45 minutes. And so it's tough in your mind because the clock seems like it stopped. You know, 30 minutes of watching TV like this, couple of commercials, bang, 30 minutes. But 30 minutes on the bike, you're like, damn, what's wrong with this damn clock? Makes you appreciate. And this is where the dopamine release happens after cardio. Because that long duration of discomfort has ended. There's like a rush of feel-good hormones. Yeah, still stretching, man. Colton, I don't know if you can see the machine from here, but it's in there. I'm not doing it every day like I used to. I felt like I was hitting a brick wall. Every other day now I'm doing it. Before sleep, sit down in front of the TV and I crank it. I feel like I'm making progress better this way than every day. Every day I felt like I was hitting, I don't know, like a wall. It's like I'm getting worse with it. Especially after biking, man. I mean, I'm not splitting, no way. But I'm a lot better. The trouble was when I was doing the heavy squatting, you know, the 190 for 3, 185 for 4, 180 for 5, man, that really tightens you up. So what I started doing was I started stretching on those nights after those sessions, and then the in-between days I wouldn't stretch. You know, I kind of felt like it was good. After really heavy squatting, it's good to release some of that tension. And the thing is, you sleep better. Whew. You know, it releases all that tension. Thanks, Colton. Appreciate you, dude. I'm sorry, dude, Miz. I see that I've got super chats on there, but I can't operate the screen right now as I'm writing. Thank you, like always, man. It's always a pleasure to see you and the support. Man, I'm working hard now. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to mention, for those of you guys that are here, after I get off the bike and I walk around, my anterior pelvic tilt is gone. I feel like I can stretch the back leg so much easier. The whole hip flexor complex loose as hell. Now I think that's because the rectus femoris has had a good pump and release from all the pumping, and it completely releases my lower back goes into normal orientation. I'm not spilling water forward with my pelvis. That's another thing I've noticed. My pelvic tilt has come a huge way in a week. So for those of you guys that are battling that whole pelvic tilt, oh man, try biking. All right, 5 more minutes, boys. Let's get it. Five minutes. Piece of cake, huh? pump is so nice, man. So nice. Like I said earlier, you can get after it. The quad is the limiting factor. How cool is that? It's not your core, it's not your back, it's not your shitty hips. Quads. And you can't run away from it. You're locked in. Those are the main drivers. It's a nice feeling, man. After squatting for so long, I've realized that squats are not a leg exercise, man. For me, I'm being limited by something else. So you can squat until the cows come home, you're always going to get limited by something else. Core, 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 core. Can you brace? So this allows me to target that sucker that never gets targeted. Right, 2.5 minutes. We're there. Oh man. And then you get to a stage where it doesn't matter what the position is, all of them feel shit. That feels shit, this feels the hardest. Because it's all quads. Oh god. Standing up feels the worst. It's your full weight on the pedals. Damn. Now I don't know how many reps this is, but well, we'll probably work it out. 40 reps per minute, 40 minutes. What's that? 4, 4, 16. What is that? 16,000 reps? 2 zeros. 1,600 reps, rather. Is that right? What's 40 times 40? Or more specifically, what's 40 times 45? Well, somebody could do that. 1,600, I think? Or is it 16,000? Well, 2 zeros, right? 4, 4, 16. 2 zeros, 1,600, right? Oh God. That's why I'm a nurse and not an engineer. I'm just good enough to do the drug calcs. And that's it. As long as I don't make a drug error, that's the extent of my maths. Alright, so there we go, 30 minutes. Sorry, 30 seconds and I'm done. Right, let's stand up and let it have it. So 60 RPM, a little bit more. All right. Oh man. Oh. Oh man, my back is so stiff. For the boys that are remaining, no, I can do all boys if you want to. Oh man, jelly legs. Oh, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling when you come off the bike. Oh man, the quads are jacked ass. It says 15 people here, but maybe there's just a... I saw a video, but I didn't watch it by Candido man himself. I haven't seen the intricacies of the program, but I know his previous programs have all been good. Like he knows his stuff, and you know it's definitely worth a look. Heavy carry type movements. Yeah, Liam, I've done a fair bit of them. Well, fair bit of them. I've tried. You know, I've got farmer carry arms, whatever you call them, barbells and not barbells, frames, whatever they're called. It's kind of hard with this backyard that we're living in now. Not a lot of space not to do it, but in my previous yard, I used to carry that thing up and down. I've got a keg, kind of suitcase, carry that. I've done a lot of dumbbells. I've never tried a yoke carry. I think that's appealing to me because once again it's unilateral walking, lots of weight on your shoulders, stabilizing the hips, the pelvis, the core. I think yoke would be very interesting for me to try. I'd love to try it. But yeah, definitely that's the kind of stuff that if you're into strength, that's the kind of stuff that's well worth your time because it's training movements and not training muscles. I think anytime you want to have better movements, stronger movements, you need to kind of shift more into the mindset of, okay, how do I get better at moving? Not how do I get better biceps or whatever. So there's a bit of a change in mentality of how you approach different things. So obviously training individual muscles is a thing as well. But if you're interested in getting better at jumping, pushing, carrying, you got to think about that stuff more so than, okay, what's used in carry? Okay, I'm going to train my wrists, I'll just do this. It doesn't work like that because it's a holistic expression. It's not just an isolation. So isolations always have a place, but if you're interested in performance, you should spend most of your time doing movements, and carrying heavy implements is definitely the stuff that you should be thinking about. Jed, Carl, Hawaii, man. Yeah, family's good, man. He was expecting the third child any day now. We booked in on Sunday for induction. So if she doesn't go into labor before Sunday, they're gonna make her go into labor on Sunday. So it's all gonna happen this weekend, basically. So really excited. I can't wait any moment now. Yeah, so life is going to change a little bit starting from next week. I've taken time off work for the next 6 weeks. For the next 6-7 weeks, I'll be off work. I had my last shift yesterday, so for the next 6-7 weeks, I'll be at home, helping the fam. Probably my role is going to be more so with the two other kids. It's actually worked out really well because my boys' school holidays start next week. So couple more days of school and then he's on holidays, and so it's kind of worked out nicely. So some sleepless nights coming up, but her role is 99% when it comes to, thank you Liam, when it comes to this stuff. She's the rock behind the whole family. She takes care of the baby just wants her, but I'll obviously work around her and help her as much as I can. Obviously that's kind of the father's role. She dictates the pace in all of this. But in previous times, we've got 2 kids already. The way we've kind of run it is that she does the night shift and I do the day shift. That's kind of how we run it. I mean, parents do it all sorts of different ways, but we quickly found out with the first one that if we both wake up during the night, then we're both not sleeping, and it's a poor use of time. So we kind of say to ourselves, okay, let's get blocks of good quality sleep, and so she'll let me sleep, until 4 or 5 in the morning, and then I get up and I take care of the business, and she gets like 5, 6, 7 hours of sleep or whatever she can get. Obviously, I will be waking her up for the feeds, but all the other stuff around the feeds, I kind of take care of it. So, this is our third child, so, we've been through it. The first one was obviously a lot more stressful because you don't know what you're going into. But she's a nurse, I'm a nurse, this is kind of our game. Not that I'm a pediatric nurse, neither is she, but when you're in the nursing game, the medical game, there's like a degree of comfort that you have. I work in emergency, so I don't get alarmed by certain things. Once you're exposed to real life threatening stuff, then everything else gets scaled different, right? Put many people in body bags, and so I know the deterioration signs and symptoms, and so simple stuff like choking or cough or whatever, or fever, or whatever the kids kind of go through. Like, I don't go crazy about that because it's not too far away from home in terms of my professional life. So yeah, the Sunday is going to be a bit of a change. Obviously, training is going to get impacted. Now, I don't know how and if the squad everyday program is going to continue. I might have to break the streak, which is all well and fine. I've spoken about this in the past. Part of me is also excited that I've stopped this. Not that I want to stop this, but if we end up being in the hospital for more than 24 hours or whatever, then obviously I'm not going to be squatting in the damn hospital. And I can do bodyweight squats or whatever, but that to me is just cheesy. There's nothing to it. It's just keeping a streak going for the sake of keeping a streak going. That's not for me. I want to make it to the barbell. And for me, I've always said it like, this squat everyday program wasn't just determination, resilience, consistency, all those types of virtues. It's more so as well that my life has been blessed enough to have nothing happen in my life to really derail me. For the last 3, almost 4 years, I've always made it home within the 24-hour period. Obviously, kids and whatever, all of that stuff, COVID, all of that's happened, but yeah, let's see what happens. Oh, man. AB says, I believe I've overlifted my chest shoulders about 2 weeks ago. Overlifted? Oh, you mean like you've done too much volume? Just taper it back, man. Catch up on the recovery points. Nothing else to it, man. If you're on the juice, just take more take more drugs, I guess. I don't know. I'm just being funny now. But yeah, just catch up on, your body's made to go into debt, and then you kind of repay it back. So you don't have to be too scientific with it. Too much weight, yeah. Just catch up on the recovery, man. Just take it easy for a little while, and eventually you're gonna catch up, and then you're good to go again. What's my favorite pre and post workout meals? I don't really have that. Whatever the fan cooks, and there's a nice rotation, traditional Serbian food, most of the time. Whatever's in the, in the kitchen. My biggest thing is I don't like wasting food, and for some of you guys, if you guys are fathers, a father's role is to eat it before it goes into the trash. The kids are not going to want to eat something that's old. She doesn't, for the most part, like to eat something that's really old, and I hate wasting food and throwing rubbish in the bin. So I tend to eat a lot of the stuff that's been left over, and so that's kind of what dads do. If there's dads in this chat, you'll understand. So I'm always taking to work half-eaten bananas, half-eaten apples and pears and whatever. Whatever's there. I'm not going to make something out of my way and then throw last night's food in the bin. Yeah, I saw the Damian Lillard trade. I saw it. And I've also seen a few things. People have made compilations of them two talking about playing with each other. And then I saw Jimmy Butler talk about how, there's probably been tampering there. So, who knows? Business in the NBA is different, man. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background that we don't know. But I'm very excited to see them work together. I think it's going to be interesting. Dame's the closer. he will finish. And then Giannis is just a monster that does really well, and so I think the pick and roll with them is going to be crazy. I think Giannis running down the hill is going to be still crazy. And then you got Dame Lillard, when they pack the paint, when they build that wall, you got Dame Lillard that can just create a shot. So I'm really excited to see that. Oh, nice, Jed. That's awesome, dude. Man, that's one thing that the number one attraction for me to the States is the NBA. I know that's shallow as hell, but I grew up watching the NBA, and I'd love to go to one game, man. Maybe one day I'll be able to do that. But Australia is far, far away. We can't exactly just pop around. It's going to have to be a family trip. And as you know, life is very expensive right now, and so maybe one day it'll be really cool. Miss says, do you think squats alone can fix anterior pelvic tilt? Absolutely not. Squats make it worse, and I'm a living proof of it. I've done more squats than anybody in the last freaking 3 years. And look at me, my anterior pelvic tilt is bad. The reason it's bad is because hip flexors are very much used in the bottom of the squat and throughout the squat. And so if those suckers continuously just go into a shorter and shorter position, you're going to be real short. I think what fixes anterior pelvic tilt is something like deadlifts, a hinging movement. Of course, your lower back is going to be involved in that, and that's part of anterior pelvic tilt. But if you work the glutes and the hamstrings and work your hip extensors more, and leave the anterior part a little bit, I think that will release it more. But just doing squats alone, I don't think that's going to fix your anterior pelvic tilt. I don't think so at all. Alright boys, that's it. Let me go out of here and do some squats now, before I cool down. And yeah, that's it for today. I'll hopefully I'll do a video tomorrow. Like I said, any day now the baby could come, and so if I make the video, then I make the video. If I don't, then you know that it's probably baby related, and I'm probably in the hospital and waiting to catch the baby. Alright guys, appreciate you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.